Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tyler, and today I am bringing you guys another MCU What If, and this What If is what if Tony called Cap at the beginning of Infinity War. Now with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's just dive into this What If, as I really don't have any much else to say, and if you guys do want more MCU What Ifs like this, let me know down below, and if you want specifically any Infinity War / Endgame What Ifs, let me know what to do down below. Should I do what if the other half of Infinity War got snapped, or basically having the main Avengers get snapped, and then the people who originally got snapped survive and come back? Let me know down below, and yeah, suggest me any future MCU what ifs you would like me to do as well. It doesn't even have to be MCU, it could be Marvel related, as I do know the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, and I know people do what ifs like that, so if you guys want me to do a what if on the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, let me know down below. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into this what if, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Okay, so in order for this scenario to happen, we would have to have Tony call Steve immediately after putting some thought into it, and we see Thanos' ship arriving, who would obviously have Cole and Ebony Maw. Tony says to come to New York immediately, and Cap, realizing that Tony's even calling for help, he knows that Tony definitely needs his assistance, and him, along with Black Widow and Falcon, move to New York. Falcon, I'd say, would help them get to their destination faster, and they would arrive around a similar time when Spider-Man comes in. We can say when Spider-Man is thrown, Falcon drops off Widow and Captain America immediately and goes in to save Peter. Meanwhile, Captain America and Black Widow would drop down by Tony's side, and Cap saying, what's going on, and Tony would just say, big aliens, go in and help. Since Tony is kind of struggling right now, Cap and Black Widow would help Tony face off against Cole Obsidian, and we know that Tony definitely wasn't going all out against Cole Obsidian, at least he wasn't trying nearly as hard as he was against Thanos. So I think after Captain America and Black Widow, after doing some martial art combos, would soon realize that their attacks have no effect on Cole, and both of them would then fall in combat, and this would enrage Iron Man, forcing him to then, start trying just like how he did against Thanos, and instead of just getting a scratch off, he would actually combo Cole Obsidian, pummeling Cole into the ground and even blasting him up in the sky, and he would just fall on his own accord. Wong would then proceed to go and trap him and teleport him somewhere elsewhere, and at that point, Spider-Man would then be sucked into the blue light similar to in canon. Except for this time, because Falcon is with Spider-Man, Falcon would also be sucked into the blue light, and when Steve realizes that Sam is possibly in trouble along with the kid, he would then insist on Black Widow staying behind and helping out Bruce, as he and Iron Man would try and help Sam and Peter. And so with this, Captain America himself is also sucked into the blue light, and now Iron Man needs to try and help them because all three of them can't breathe in space. He would then send 3 things from his house instead of 1 thing to go and help out Sam, Steve, and Spider-Man rather than just specifically Spider-Man, and Spider-Man still gets his Iron Spider suit and is parachuted seemingly back to Earth, while Sam and Captain America would probably just be given Iron Man masks so that they can breathe. Iron Man would still go up to the ship to try and help out Doctor Strange, and Steve and Sam now being up there with Iron Man, the 3 of them then decide to go in, and the reason why he only sent Peter back is because specifically he is a kid. And it is still revealed, just like in canon, that Peter Parker actually managed to stay on the ship. Now we would then cut back down to Earth, where we would see Black Widow and Bruce now not knowing what to do, and Black Widow would then assume, since they're going after the stones, they would try and have to get Vision, and like in canon, Black Widow would then go down to try and help Wanda and Vision without Sam and Steve being here, obviously. With that being said, I think Wanda is just more than enough to take on these 2, and with the added help of Black Widow, they would just seemingly defeat Proxima and Corvus similar to how they did in canon, just a little bit harder since Sam and Steve aren't there to back them up, and they would still retreat just like in canon, and they would still have to go to Wakanda due to them needing all the help they can get. And so with that being said, it's just the same squad going to Wakanda without Sam or Steve being included, and we wouldn't see Bucky and Steve reunite. Who cares though, as that moment was just underwhelming anyway, and the Wakanda battle portion of Infinity War is just going to be the same, just without Steve or Sam being included in the mix. Now, we would cut back to the space aspect of Infinity War, specifically where Iron Man is, and now Steve and Sam are on the ship, and Peter would be revealed as well that he actually snuck on the ship, and now they need a plan to basically save Doctor Strange. Now, I think before they go on to save Doctor Strange, Cap and Tony, I think, would need a scene just trying to close things for the time being, as there is a way bigger threat among them. Cap knows what he did to Tony was wrong, but Tony gets why he did what he did. And I think in this timeline, it makes sense for these 2 to be able to forgive each other in this movie, since the scenario is Tony actually making the call and deciding to call Steve even when their past beef was still in the way. In this timeline, Tony actually decides to put that beef behind them in order to face off against a greater threat, and because of that, Tony called Steve. They can maybe actually move forward and put this fully behind them, and for the time being, they will. And so Cap and Tony then shake on it, and they are basically cool by the time they go in to save Doctor Strange, and Ebony Maw would then be off guarded and basically negged off the movie. Now, shortly afterwards though, they would encounter the Guardians of the Galaxy, but now with the added help of Sam and Steve. Drax would easily be able to just overwhelm Sam with his raw power, and even when Sam has the aerial advantage, Drax just makes quick work of him. As for Cap though, Cap and Iron Man would be facing off against Star-Lord, and Tony would still get gravity bombed, but Cap is there too, so basically now he can get the jump and surprise Star-Lord, which would then lead into Spider-Man also being there and being able to also restrain him now that he's distracted with Captain America. And because of Star-Lord being distracted and with the inclusion of Steve, the Guardians actually just low-key lose to the Avengers rather than Star-Lord having Spider-Man but Iron Man having Drax. And when they further realize that they're all basically fighting against Thanos, which means they're basically all on the same side, they would try and make a plan to try and defeat Thanos, and like in canon, they would come up with a similar plan. They now have Cap and Falcon being there, which is going to be very useful, and you guys are going to see soon, because you guys are probably wondering, you know, 2 extra humans against Thanos, it's like 2 extra bugs, you know, that shouldn't make a difference, but it actually does. You see, they would still make Thanos fall under Mantis's control, and they would put him in a similar position to that of his canon self, because, you know, they already did, but now they just have 2 extra people. If anything, they're just going to do it faster. But what I'm saying is, Sam and Captain America would only be just supporting and really just kind of being there while the others are restraining Thanos. Maybe Sam can actually help, but I think Steve would mainly be in a similar position to that of Star-Lord, where he's just, you know, watching this happen. This means at the bare minimum, we can have either 1 or 2 people actually being there with Star-Lord, so if he tries to act up, we can actually have one of them blocking the initial blow that wakes Thanos up, which means Steve can basically hold Star-Lord back before he can hit Thanos, which means he would never be able to easily break out of Mantis's control before the gauntlet slips out of his fingers, which means that by the time Thanos wakes up, the gauntlet would be removed from his hand by Spider-Man, who would then be basically keeping his distance away from Thanos and moving away. Thanos would then scream in a rage, throwing Mantis off of him, and then kicking Drax directly in his face, knocking him out into an unconscious state. At that point, he would then move in to try and get the gauntlet from Spider-Man, but Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Steve, and Falcon would be there to basically stop him. Star-Lord, after realizing he's kind of being stupid right now, he would snap out of it, and he would then be able to gravity bomb Thanos, allowing everyone else to then get some attacks in, with Steve punching him in the stomach and Iron Man then getting the iconic, you know, drop of blood out on him. Falcon tries to stab Thanos with his wings, but Thanos would move Cap and Iron Man away from him, and he would then rip Sam's wings directly off of his body and then basically punch him away. Steve would be enraged at this, and he would then throw in a couple of hits at Thanos, even being able to evade some blows, showing how persistent he is and his raw tenacity, showing that he'll never give up. And at that point, as he's about to go in for a punch that he would have connected onto Cap, but Iron Man would then kick Thanos' fist away from Captain America and then basically strap that hand and his foot onto the ground, allowing him to then get another hit in on Thanos. At that point, Captain America would also move in and spin kick Thanos' head in, and Iron Man and Captain America would then combo Thanos before Thanos finally gets a grip and would remove Cap and Iron Man off of him. However, as soon as Cap and Iron Man are removed away from Thanos, this would lead into Doctor Strange blitzing towards Thanos and then throwing in a point-blank mirror dimension portal. And because Thanos doesn't have the power or Space Stone to break it and then warp it, this would lead into Doctor Strange actually trapping Thanos in the mirror dimension and defeating the Mad Titan, which means the Infinity War saga has come to a close even before Endgame even happens. Endgame just doesn't exist at all, and this means Captain America can actually stay as Captain America, or he can just retire 5 years earlier. Regardless, it doesn't really matter. The world has just come to peace, and Iron Man and Spider-Man would also just deal with Mysterio when Far From Home comes. Or that might not even happen, considering the fact that the glasses wouldn't be given away at this point. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, basically peace is just brought to the universe. Black Widow also survives, and basically the Avengers are at peace. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm actually going to be ending the scenario off, as we have nothing to really cover. I mean, the final conclusion to the Avengers storyline doesn't really exist, so this is where it would just end. If you enjoyed this storyline, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends, and comment down below what other scenarios you would like me to do in the future, along with subscribing if you are new to the channel and hitting the bell icon, that way you are notified and updated when I upload, and follow me on Twitter, links in the description. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tyler, and I'm going to see you all in the next one. Peace out, have a nice rest of the day, everybody.